Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessamine Moyer. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku.
That's right. Today is #Wealth Wednesday. We're going to talk about how meditation can benefit your business, knowing the truth that we are here to claim our birthright of prosperity, knowing with innovation, all things are possible. As together we say, and so it is.
So it is.
And so is that crystal.
Right.
Hello.
Hello.
I love that crystal.
So, Desert Daisy jewelry, OMG. She's got some serious swag going on.
Oh, absolutely. I'm wearing my Desert Daisy piece as well. We had Emma on the show yesterday. She was such a light. I mean, I had to bring up the rock on your chest.
I mean, I don't know. It speaks to me. I see so much incredible jewelry, but I just love that it's signature pieces. And I do think that if you're going to be a brand, because that's kind of what we're talking about today, you got to make a statement. Know what your brand is, live it, and own it, and get something fabulous that's going to go viral.
I love that. And it's making the skirt pop. So I like that. Yeah.
Well, and we have just the man who can do that. We're excited to welcome to the show the master makeover himself. Good morning, Mike. How are you today?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. And the naughty girl herself, Sienna Sinclair. Good morning, Sienna.
Hi there.
So I'm wondering here on Good Morning La La Land, how you start your day. Is there something you do to really get yourself in the right mindset? Sienna, what's your routine like?
It's pretty boring.
I was like, I'm not buying that at all, Mike. You're going to have to work on her branding about this because she is like one of the LA favorites and a quintessential naughty girl. She's totally in the know and she walked in on brand. So it's got to be more interesting than that.
Yeah, people always ask me how my day is, and I say that's the most boring part because the behind the scenes is really boring. It's what you see, on Instagram and when I'm out in public hosting parties, that's more exciting. But when I start my day, I wake up naked. I always sleep naked. I hate clothes constricting me. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but I usually get up, shower, go make my breakfast, and start my day. It varies. Right now I'm getting my house remodeled, so I have so many things going on around 7 o'clock in the morning and painters and handymen coming over, so it's
I hope you got your
pretty boring.
Yeah. All of a sudden, going to need a lot of stuff painted.
Quite the morning routine. Mike, what about you? How do you start your day?
A little bit different every day. I have 2 kids, so I have an 11-year-old son and a 9-year-old daughter. I try and stay in the same routine. I have a meditation routine that I do. It's about 10 minutes. I try and clear my mind a little bit and give myself my own thoughts before my kids get rolling. Just because sometimes with kids it can get a little chaotic and you never quite know what you're going to get in the morning. So that time to myself really helps just kind of clear my brain, set the day, and then I can focus on what my priorities are throughout the day. And so that really helps me have that little bit of time to myself.
Oh. Do you think that little bit of time for yourself allows you more of a creative vision?
Yeah, what I feel like is it helps me eliminate a lot of the ups and downs. So being an entrepreneur for almost 11 years now, there are a lot of ups and downs that you encounter, a lot of struggles, and there's these times where everything seems to be clicking. And then there are times where it feels like my life's a mess and everything's going to fall apart, So when I take the time to just think and clear my mind and set my intentions for the day, I tend to eliminate some of those wild swings and the ups and down feelings. And I always feel on point. And when I skip that routine, that's when things can begin to feel overwhelming for me and feel like, oh, maybe something's wrong when there's nothing wrong,
Oh, I feel
so
like
well
that
said
all the time. Well, thank you both so much for being here. We're excited to talk to you more later in the show.
I miss those mornings when my son was little and he'd wake up and it's like the best time ever as a parent. I do miss that, I gotta say. Just even when they're really small and they look at you and they're just like so smiley in the morning. I miss that.
I'm sure there are lots of folks out there that would want you to babysit if you want.
Yeah.
Do you miss it that much?
I honestly love children. I mean, yeah, I really do. I love dogs and children. Not gonna lie.
It's interesting though, because I think Mike has a point there. When you really just take a little bit of time for yourself, It's allowed me to stay a little bit calmer throughout my day because let's admit it, I'm a pretty hot mess pretty much all day, every day.
Focus on the hot.
Focus on the hot, okay. H-A-U-T-E. That said,
Exactly.
really establishing a sense of self before I get into all the hot, messy stuff helps navigate me through that so I don't think, what is going on here? I can think, this is a beautiful mess, but I know it's exactly the way it's meant to be and I will get through this all.
Oh, I love that, Jez.
So true.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think for me, I tried to make peace my top priority and then let the activities of the day sort of not be distraction, but I try to integrate that piece into the day instead of doing it the other way, where the activities of the day are my main focus and the piece is just something that's like an accessory that hasn't worked well for me. You know what I mean?
I like
unless
that.
you prioritize peace, it always will get lost
I like
in the mix.
that.
Yeah, it's really interesting too because I've even started like, okay, just get yourself ready first. Before you get all the other things done, get yourself ready first. Because I found that I was getting all these things done and then I was never ready on time. Seems super simple, right? Well, I'm just now at 30 years old figuring this
But
out
the
for
most
myself.
profound
Get
things
ready
are
first.
simple, Jez. The most profound things are simple.
But really, it changed the whole way I was dealing with my day because it was like, I am now ready for anything to bring it on, rather than being like, I'm never ready for anything and look at all the stuff I still have to do. Total different mind shift.
Yeah. Well, either way, you always make it look good.
Yeah.
Wake up, show up, shine, baby.
I remember reading the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and that changed my life. In fact, I just honestly just did an automatic responder on my email because I'm just can't respond to all of them. There's no way, and I'm not going to do it. And so I just like, sorry, we are having too many emails, and we're booked out weeks, so we'll get back to you when we get back to you. There
Oh my
you go.
gosh, I love it. And
Sorry.
So much of my work with executives is actually encouraging them not to respond to
Nope,
everybody.
not gonna
And
do
not
it.
to respond promptly either, which is kind of, you know, I feel a little bad saying that and doing that because I was raised to respond promptly and respond to everybody, but it's just not the most efficient or effective way to live your life.
Yeah, you just can't do it.
You end up living a very reactive instead of a very creative life.
Well, I think the best way to handle that is to really manage your time and schedule a time to sit down in front of your computer and knock out all your emails. You can't do it all day, every day, but that's really been successful for me. Is today I'm going to go through this email account and I'm going to handle this for this time.
I love
and this
that.
time only, and then I'm not going to check it for the rest of the
Yeah.
day.
So smart because it's the context shifting that kills you,
Totally.
efficiency-wise and energy-wise.
For sure.
You know.
For sure, for sure. So want to give a shout out, Tom girl, JJ Jurgens.
What?
She's
Tell us about
amazing.
this.
Oh, I was just on her podcast yesterday over at AfterBuzz TV, and really cool, a network, really cool studios over there. I was checking it out. They have all the lights and how they set it up, and really cool. I really like her a lot. She's just a really grounded, very great at questions, asks some profound questions. And she asked me this one question, because we went through a lot of different stuff. Like, we covered a lot of stuff. And at one point, she was asking me about the distinctions I was talking about the other day about being overwhelmed and how to deal with those things. And so I go through like number 1, number 2, and then I'm like, I don't remember number 3. It's like so hilarious. And I was like, well, you know, luckily by the end of the show I remembered it, but it was one of those things like, you know, when you're prepared for interviews, it's so fun. You get to tell, we interview so many people on here, but it's fun to tell your own stories and trials and tribulations and then have some distinctions. But
We really appreciate your support, JJ. I've known her for 10 years. She's an incredibly hardworking, talented host and been doing her show, Tom Girl TV, for several years now out of the AfterBuzz TV studios. We actually went to hosting class eons ago when we had both moved to LA together, so it's really been exciting to watch her journey and her success progress. So thank you, JJ, for your support. You can watch her interview on Good Morning La La Land if you go to FocusTVNetwork.com or listen to it as a podcast on iTunes.
yeah, I love that.
We love the AfterBuzz TV people. It's
Right?
Marino Munoz is.
Yeah, I think she has a show called Every Girl, and they're actually setting it up in New York, from what I understand. Yeah, it should be great.
Yeah, well, the Every Girl is her brand. It's a lifestyle blog. She's got some great products involved, really cool online community for the Every Girl. So big shout out to her
I love
for
that.
that. And we had a great show yesterday. We want to show you the rewind. What happened? You know, we were mentioning the crystals, but there was a lot of
Oh my
incredible
gosh,
guests.
Wes Gear, love him. Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, Wes
What?
Gear, legendary guitarist. He's hosting this incredible event here in Hollywood called Rock to Recovery this weekend. We're going to be there. Steel Panther is playing. Let's take a look at the rewind.
Usually, here's what I notice. When people are having a bad day, they're not going, oh my gosh, the long-term implications of this tax plan are really going to destroy this country. They're not thinking about
Totally.
that. You're thinking about yourself. I'm ugly, I'm fat, I don't have this, I need that, I want this. You know what I mean? It's just self-centered fear or just, right, unfulfillment. But I get the biggest fulfillment from in here. And so when I come over and help Rob out and go, man, I love you. What do you need from me, homie? I walk out and I get that fulfillment from inside.
What's the biggest transformation tool in your life?
What's this? It's focus, right? Focus.
Perfect.
Success is the ability to monetize on your minutes in a proper fashion. That's all success is. The average human only lives 26,000 days. What will you do with your today?
When I was living up in LA, I had gotten married and we had 2 children, and I was a survivor of domestic violence. That was what caused us to get divorced and my relocation back to Orange County. And it actually taught me that first of all, I knew nothing about domestic violence, so I became a student of knowledge. I wanted to understand that actually 1 in 4 women in America, 1 in 3 women globally have been victims of domestic violence, and it's the silent crime. It's something that nobody talks about.
There's the whole idea of the crystal energies, and I see it way too much to not believe it. I do shows, I interact with my clients all the time, and they will intuitively draw the stone they need. They will look and like, all my jewelry, pick the piece they love, and then they tell me what they have going on in their lives, and it's what they need. They knew it by just spending time with the crystals. Or they'll buy a piece and then send me a message a few weeks later like, since I started wearing this, everything's changed.
How do I start my day? I know this question is coming. I started watching Good Morning La La Land. Duh!
He must be in marketing.
You think? Yes.
So
That's
talented.
awesome, yeah.
Yeah, this stone, supposedly, Desert Daisy Jewelry was saying, Emma was saying that this is a magnifier. So whatever you're up to, it's going to multiply abundantly.
Oh man, you want to be real intentional when you're going on that one, huh?
Yes, and I am
Holy
very
smokes.
intentional.
Yeah.
For sure. So let's get into Wealth Wednesday. You know, great topic. How does meditation benefit business? And I actually gave a talk in the Boss Babes private membership group the other day on this topic. And I just think it's such a great topic because I think that people, they want peace, and that is obviously the highest benefit to come out of it, your personal life. But how does it apply to business? And we know that, I mean, there's so much science now on all of this. But I was just thinking about, I started reflecting, how has it really benefited my business, And it's interesting because I'd say it has affected everything. Number one is that it basically birthed my purpose and calling.
Oh, wow.
Right? So that would be a big benefit on your business. It's helped, of course, stress, because the moment that you assign a positive or negative meaning to anything, you respond with stress or not. And getting into that neutral place in meditation allows you to stay neutral and just observe in your business. And then I think there's so many other things, but leadership skills, like having better communication, having the ability to innovate, having the ability to confront things and all this stuff. It's I'm sure you.
Oh no, you just nailed it though.
Long.
I just love this. I mean, and one of my favorite quotes is, the 2 most important days in a person's life are the day they're born and the day they discover why they were born, the purpose, right? Yeah, and I think that is one of the greatest benefits of meditation, is that it lets you tune in and tap into that deeper knowing inside of you.
So true.
It's so funny because I mention my horoscopes very often on the show, and I read them. Very special thanks to Daily Om for sending it to me every day. So if you're a Gemini like me, today we got this very interesting, very spot-on conversation. Horoscope, and it said establishing a solid foundation of self allows you to maintain a sense of security while tackling challenges and taking calculated risks. So I thought that was really interesting because for me in meditation, it's been really interesting to really just kind of get in line and get to know myself and my purpose. And in doing that, that's created security for me to take those risks, for me to handle my pretty hot, messy life, right? Because I'm secure in myself. I'm secure in knowing that my purpose is bigger and better and greater than me and the mess around me, right? So it's been really interesting because for me, meditation hasn't given me clarity on this is my grand purpose, or this is what I need to do to fix my life. It's just helped me get in tune with myself so I can handle it.
I love that. Oh man, you remind me of this great Marianne Williamson quote. She basically said that God, you can call that your inner knowingness, your intuition, doesn't always tell you exactly what to do. It tells you more how to do it, how to do it, right? So do it with love, do it with happiness, do it with peace. And I love that because the one hurdle or obstacle that I discovered early on in meditation was that by trying to get something out of meditation, I was
Yeah,
blocking
doesn't work.
it, right? I was like actually blocking it. I'm like, oh man, I'm not getting any clarity. What's going on here? And I'd stress out like, oh, I gotta meditate harder. It's like, no, Rob, just relax and try to enjoy the meditation and let the other stuff come on its own
It is a
timing.
counterintuitive thing.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm reading this book, Big Miracles, on the plane on the way back from New York Fashion Week. And what I read was stop asking the universe or God or whoever you may be praying or meditating to or with for abundance, right? Stop saying, God, I need money, right? It's God, universe, whatever it is. What do I need to do to obtain the abundance I'm promised? What do I need to do to set myself up for success? Rather than just, hey, hand it over. What do I need to do to get there? Totally like a mental mind switch went off, right?
I love that. And I would say the answer, not that I'm God, I would say the answer that I've ever gotten is stop thinking, Rob, like my ways aren't your ways kind of thing. So like when right? So it's like, I love that you say it that way, Jez, because that's been my experience as well. That like, yeah.
I think Thomas Shore, we're throwing out.
Oh, I love
quotes and
Thomas
stuff.
Shore. Yeah.
I remember it changed my whole perspective of innovation and what's possible with the mind. When he talks about a ship going across the ocean and that steel will sink, but it was the mind of the man, really the innovation of that put elements together that allowed the ship to go across the ocean. Same with airplanes and everything. So we can get all prosperity, all inventions, all innovations with just that true creation that comes from the inside. And I love that. That's the most important. I love that. There's one thing I value the most in this life. It's that creative factor.
Yeah. You put me on to Florence Shovel.
Oh yeah,
Shivel. Yeah, Shin. And she always would say, like, ships come in over a calm sea. And I think that's true. That manifestation happens best and most easily and most enjoyably when you're calm inside.
Which is like the hardest thing to do. I mean, let's be real, right?
It can be.
When you're trying to manifest like a peaceful thing, you're probably already in a mess and you're like,
right? Speaking of calm, it'd be great if we actually learned some of these distinctions as children. So we want to give a shout out to so cute, all these books.
Andrew Newman.
Yeah, Andrew. So the Conscious Bedtime Story Club, and they're so sweet. They had me do one of their quotes, one of the quotes for their new book, his new book coming out, We Are Circle People, so honored on that one. And they're actually doing, they're raising money for it. Let me just make sure I get this for you because I want to make sure. It's on, couldn't tell you. It's on one of the, what's it called? They
have a Kickstarter campaign going.
There you go.
Conscious Stories, written by Andrew Newman, and it's an incredible way for having a conscious, evolved, emotional conversation with your child in a way that they can really, truly understand. So we're so excited to have you a part of our community, Andrew. Thank you so much for including us, for featuring Erin on the back of your book, and we just want to support you in that. So please go and Google that out and contribute whatever you can, even if it's just buying a book and sharing it with your child.
And his books are like really fantastic. Even as an adult, I love reading them.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Like,
beautiful, gorgeous.
Fantastic.
My favorite, The Hug Who Got Stuck. Who doesn't love that?
Yeah, look at this. Can you imagine though if you actually, like, as a child, you knew these distinctions? Like, I'm always like,
I know.
Why did we learn geography when we didn't learn like the power of our mind? Like, hello, it doesn't make any sense at all.
It's true. I will say this though. The fact that I didn't learn it as a child, like through school or through a formal system, I apprite it so much more than if I had.
Yeah, it's true.
Just looking for the silver lining.
He's always so.
I'm just trying to find the silver lining.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like 30-some years for me, 21 years of my life I wasted.
So we want to know, how does meditation, how has it benefited your personal and professional life? We want to know as a community what we can do, what those distinctions are, and how you incorporate it into your day. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. We're going to have some interviews with some people about their brand, how they're bringing their peace into their brands.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paprat.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live.
Live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning LaLaLand.
first episode of Sadie Says. I'm your host, Natalie Sadie. Welcome, Daniel Hall. First episode.
I didn't even realize it was your first episode.
Hi, welcome to Dr. Erin Show. It's been a while since we've been here, and I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about discovering your purpose and calling, and I have Elle Russ in the house. Thank you so much for coming all the way down here today.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Tara Tenner, and this is the Model Mama Show. I'm so excited about our guest today. We have Chelsea Cannell-Briggs, who this is literally a blast from the past, you guys.
It's true.
We haven't seen each other since we worked together at Fox Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I am excited and delighted because we have an amazing guest. So thank you, Jeannie, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm a fan of both of you.
I'm Jessamine Mollier, and this is LA Unscripted, and I'd love to welcome to my show Mr. Jacques Silverstein. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my great pleasure to be with you.
This is somebody who went from super nerd to supermodel, so I'm so excited. Let's talk to Anna.
Yes.
Anna, you were the winner of our very first Viva Glam model search.
Yeah, you guys were actually my very first photo shoot.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Reshape. I'm Allie Landry, and I am so thrilled to have our next guest. So I am so grateful that you are here with us at Reshape today.
Thank you, Allie. I'm so happy to see you. And you couldn't look more gorgeous if you tried.
Today's guest is best known for being the fitness guru on 6 seasons of The Biggest Loser. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Dolvet. Dolvet, we don't even say Quince anymore. It's just Dolvet. It's
like one name.
Dolvet.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. We have perfect lighting. We've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Hello and welcome to The Joe Show. I'm Josephine, and here on our couch today is none other than the heartthrob of Shahs of Sunset, Shervin.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ren Wood Show. I am so excited for my guest today. I have the beautiful Bianca Hayes. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca. Give me a hug.
For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
Welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. We're all about Wealth Wednesday, and we have Sienna Sinclair, who is Naughty Girl of LA. Oh my gosh, I'm dying to get into this conversation. I want to break through all the concepts and programming about that it's bad to be naughty.
No, it's good to be naughty.
Right,
Everyone knows that if you're naughty, you get more gifts at Christmas time.
And the gifts we like. So
Exactly.
You wrote the book, Naughty Los Angeles.
Yeah,
tell us all about it.
So I traveled the world whenever I was younger. I was living in London and working for a magazine, and I would always visit places that were a little bit more naughty because I just got bored, with visiting the Eiffel Tower or Big Ben. I don't know, there was just something in me that wanted to visit naughty things. But I was also visiting naughty places that were safe for women, because that's very hard to find. So when I came to LA, I wanted to combine my 3 passions: travel, sex, and history.
Wow.
So I'm also a big history buff. So in the book, I also write a section called about LA's naughties past, starting from the 1910s and so on.
Wow. So you're going to help me out with this, because one, okay, so I get that you don't have to necessarily be sleeping with multiple people to be naughty. You don't necessarily need to be doing anything that is kind of whatever, harming anyone, you can be naughty, but I still have some kind of anxiety, if you will, around the concept of being naughty. It's such deep programming.
No, it
Help
is,
me out with
because
that.
a lot of people, it's all about, family, religion, and what society says, but society, it's also very confusing because society is telling us to be naughty with all these ads and expressing your sexuality. But naughtiness, and I tell this with my group, and this is something I explain, naughtiness is whatever level you want it to be. So in my books, I offer different naughty levels. So for example,
I love that.
A basic naughty
on the scale. I'm like a 1.5.
Yeah, so 1.5 would be, let's say I invite you out to a burlesque event with my meetup group. And there's a burlesque event every single night in LA. You can find on my calendar. There's probably sometimes 5 a night. And it's just very something simple. It's women of all sizes, which I love. It shows you that you're beautiful in all different ways. And it's the women take off their clothes, but it's not a strip club. They're just going down to either bra, pasties, or underwear. And there's also some behind it. So that's your level.
That's my level.
What's your level?
That's about my level.
And then it just, it goes up from there to full on.
Okay, so let's get real for a minute. Like how far, let's just talk, because it's okay, it's a morning show, we can do this thing a little bit. I was resistant to having you on the show, I'm not gonna lie. Like, what are you gonna talk about, naughty, whatever. But I think it's an interesting conversation, an important one. So how extreme do you feel someone can go without becoming out of ethics, becoming demonic, becoming whatever? So
let's say,
where's that line?
For example, this weekend I'm hosting a Casino Royale 007 party where I'm going to have casino tables, a jazz band, hors d'oeuvres. So it kind of like making people feel more comfortable. Guys are going to dress up in tuxes, girls in long gowns. So again, you walk in and we all seem normal. But that helps to get people comfortable. And some people come and they're just voyeurs. Or they just are new to the group and they want to learn about it.
Oh yeah,
more.
I learned about that. Voyeur means you like to watch.
You like to watch.
Okay,
Yeah.
learning the sex.
And I'm more of a voyeur. A lot of people think, oh, I love to swing off chandeliers. I'm crazy. I've done all that stuff, except for swinging off chandeliers. But I've done the fetish. I've done all that stuff. But I've learned that I'm pretty much vanilla. And it's okay to be vanilla. That's what I tell people. It's okay. Whatever your naughty level is, if you're just a voyeur, if you just want to come to my party and you realize it's not for you, it's not for you. But nobody forces anybody to do anything. It does get crazy. It's more of a connection. People go there and they talk to people and they feel more comfortable and it's connecting. And you never know where my parties are going to go. Sometimes I have really tame parties because it's the crowd.
It's a really interesting conversation to have for women and men who are exploring their sexuality, who are testing their boundaries and figuring that out. But how do you maintain a safe boundary and protect yourself in that? You mentioned having a safe space for women, especially here in Los Angeles.
No, it is a good question because that's something people always worry about. But if you know me, people in my meetup group, they always say they're scared of me because I don't take crap. And I have rules that I set down, and if you break those rules, just nobody wants to be kicked out of my group. So people follow those rules, and people come kind of scared. Like whenever I send out my email, I always say to them, listen, I'm going to be really straightforward and kind of mean in this email because I have to lay it out. There's no touching, blah, blah, blah. Just because people are naked doesn't mean you can touch them, or whatever. Not just men, I also think it applies to women because a lot of women think that they can touch other women because it's okay because they're a woman. It's absolutely not okay in my events. So if you cross that line, just even a little, you're out of my group. But that rarely happens.
I do love this idea of sort of creating the safe space where people can sort of heal a lot of the guilt and a lot of the issues they have around not just sex but who they are. Because I think that the sex issue is so deeply tied to who you think and feel you are as a human being, and it can often, the issues that you have with sex or money or anything can get in the way of you living your fullest, happiest life.
Well, that's also another thing about my parties that isn't mentioned is that people come to my events and it's life-changing for them, because they're told it's not okay to be naughty, you shouldn't do this, and they come and they see people of all sizes and races, and everyone just being normal. We are normal people.
It's such a great point, and I've come a long way. I used to be very judgmental around anyone that was polyamorous or anything like that, and I've really learned to go, it's a beautiful thing. People, if this is truly their authentic expression, everyone should be able to love whoever they want, as far as if it's not hurting anyone or lying to anyone or anything like that. But I do think it's interesting, there's some areas that, like the spiritual world, they get like where they love everyone, and then there's like that's okay, but it's not okay if it's like an SM&M kind of thing. Like
SM is different.
Interesting, right?
And I do have some people that come and they're all that free love, and that's great. I have some members that do that, and you watch them and you see this like sexual energy going through them, and it's kind of cool And I wish that I could be that way, but I'm not that way.
Yeah.
I'm more of a one-person vanilla.
Same.
I like girls, but what is it? Bi-curious or tri-curious? I'll try anything. But if I don't like it, then I don't like it. But yeah, but the fetish industry is very different, and I've been in it because I'm a sex coach also, so I've had to try all things, and it's different in the sense that there's not sex that goes on, and it's more about what really gets you off, and what gets you off could be shoes.
It's so interesting. So we talk about objective sex versus like a conscious or spiritual sex. So objective sex is anything that is external,
but it could be spiritual for them, because a lot of and I do this all the time when I'm working out or something. I call it my subspace. When you're bored or you're doing something you don't like, I just go into like my subspace to make things go faster. And I learned that from the fetish world. They go into their subspace. So it's more of a spiritual thing for them.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I always joke, I'm like, I'm in my subspace right now. or it's meditating,
What inspired you to become Naughty Girl of LA and to write the book and to become a sex coach?
I think it was because people always ask me for my advice just growing up in general, but whenever I would go, whenever I lived in London and I was traveling around Europe, I just found out that there weren't really many female-friendly things for women. And it's always about the men, like the sex toy stores. It was all about the men. Sex toys were all about the men, but now it's becoming more about the women, female-friendly toys like Pleasure Chest. The toys now are more female-friendly oriented with design. And like I said, I have a love of history, I have a love of sex, and I have a love of travel. And it was a perfect niche for me. When you try to think of something, find your niche, find something you love to do. And it was like this light went off. I was like, oh my gosh, I can combine the three.
You definitely have a niche.
Yeah, I do.
And it's an interesting time in our society
off your list of things to accomplish.
that we're able to openly have a conversation about this on a live morning talk show, right? Without holding guilt or shame or judgment. What can we do as men, as women, to continue to encourage that conversation so people make safe choices about this without the guilt and the shame?
Yeah, well, one thing that I definitely want to address is when you're talking about being inspired, is that my events are not, I'm not a club, I'm just, you come at your own level and be naughty, but also I'm all about not discriminating. A lot of swing clubs, they discriminate against people, so that is what it inspired me. I don't like when people tell you that this is what beauty is. It's not what beauty is, being in the porn industry. Beauty is whatever, the eye of the beholder. It's not what you see in magazines. And my events are, like I said, any color, any race, because I want people to feel safe and to feel comfortable and to know that they can come to an event and go, oh my gosh, there's so many different types here, and everyone's so beautiful in their own way. And who knows what you may like. You'd be surprised.
So you're quite a businesswoman, though. I mean, you've been featured in some
all,
of the top. Yeah, so, I mean, you've been, help me out on the list of all the places. You've been featured, like, in Howard Stern and all these things.
Howard Stern.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about your mindset and what advice you give for people. If they have a brand, they've found their niche, now they're getting out there.
I always say it's going to take a lot of work. Because what you see on Instagram or social media of people where they are now, a lot of people think that that's how I just started, but people don't understand that I've been doing this for almost 20 years of not doing the naughtiness, but finding out who I am and building myself, and then finding out what I wanted to do and build my brand. So, and a lot of people give up early, but I would just say stick at it, because it's going to be a lot. It's not, honestly, it's not for everybody. I mean, it's not. That's why a lot of people fail, because it's just not. You have to be very driven and not care what other people think about you. Have to take bad comments. I get bad comments all the time. You have to learn to overlook those and just keep going forward. And one thing that I do to keep me focused is there's times that I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, no one cares about naughty. Like, am I just someone that's giving a place for people to have sex? But what I've learned to do is I copy all the things onto my phone of all the compliments I get from people. So when I'm feeling bad, I'll read them saying, you've changed my life, you did this for me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. And then that gets me back on focus. So I'm like, okay.
I love that. So you show some of the hot spots in LA.
Oh yeah.
Pink Taco. I've never been there, but just the name is quite fascinating.
Well, it was kind of naughty.
It's a taco spot on Sunset.
But
it's next to Chateau Marmont, which is famous for its naughty history and Hollywood starlets. And then right across the street is Body Shop, which is also, you know, historical and famous.
It's right by Unbreakable, and you've been to Unbreakable.
Oh yes, yeah, the gym above it. And then name some other places in LA. What are some hot things? So if someone's in town today, where they're level 1. They're level 1. Where would they go?
So they're level 1.
What is this scale? Is this a scale to 100 or is this a scale to 5
Yeah, we
or
want
10?
to know.
Well, you know what? There's some great places.
Make an app. I think you need an app of like.
Well, I have my
like
website that has
like,
a calendar on it and lists there's over 100 odd events going on in LA for the month. So there's something going on every night. You can check it out. But Los Feliz actually has a lot of great places. I live over there, and El Cid does burlesque shows, and also. What's that one place right
That's
next
actually
to Dresden?
super cute. I have been there.
There's a Dresden, and then there's that theater right next door. I can't remember.
I'm too new to it.
I know.
Yeah.
But then they also have Cheetahs, which is a strip club, but not fully.
I haven't been there.
They have drag shows at the strip club too, which I find
that's
fun.
yeah.
Just to mix it up. And there's also, you know, I'm having a brain fart.
Well, okay, so there's also this one owned by
she
Mark and
knows,
Johnny.
she knows.
She
I do
knows,
know.
she knows, she knows, yeah.
I admitted I'm a 1.5.
Oh, Jumbo's Clown Room. Jumbo's Clown Room, that's it.
Technicality.
Yeah,
Get you that.
there's this great spot in disguise is this like super classy Parisian cocktail spot, and the next thing you know, at about 11 p.m., the ceiling opened up, and this golden cage drops down. It's called Pourvu.
Yeah, it's
and
also
this
Pourvu.
woman who's like just beautifully dressed in like sheer and sequins, and like all of a sudden just starts taking it off, and it was an incredible performance.
They also own other clubs. Le Segunda, I can't remember how to pronounce the name, but they have salsa, sexy performers.
La Descarga.
Yeah, that's it.
La
Oh, yeah,
Descarga
La Descarga,
and
yeah,
Western.
yeah.
They do some great burlesque over at Harvard and Stone
Yeah.
as well.
They're by
No
Los
Vacancy.
Feliz. Yeah, No Vacancy, yeah.
Yeah.
So fun.
And I can't forget to mention their 80s club, Break Room 86, my favorite.
So question, because we talk a lot with dating experts and whatever, and we see that the dating world and traditional things, people are moving away. I mean, the younger generations are moving away from traditional things.
Yeah.
And I think that you can still be, you know, spiritual, empowered, all the above, and break through whatever the constructs of the culture has told you about relationship, and find your own unique truth in that. Where do you see relationships in the industry going?
Oh, I mean, I already see them happening all the time. People are more wanting not be in relationships, but try maybe the polyamorous lifestyle, because they're just wanting to see more what's out there. They're tired of the norm or what, you know, the monogamy. They're also wanting to try out, because a lot of people will come to my events and they'll come with different people each time, because they're just trying out different girls or different guys to see what fits kind of their lifestyle.
Wow.
And just trying out different things and seeing where it goes. It's kind of like, you know, your 20s, you're kind of just experimenting. And then when you get in your 30s, you kind of know a little bit more what you like. But there's also some 40s and 50-year-olds that are like, they've been married and they want to try it all out again. You know, they're back to their 20s.
It is interesting. I think, so we sometimes on the show talk about Osho, who's a spiritual teacher in the 60s, 70s, and he wrote a book called From Sex to Superconsciousness. And so much of it was just about self-exploration, right?
Yeah.
And initially it starts out in a place where it's just about something that's physical, but over time, as you begin to explore both yourself and other people, you come to deeper and deeper realizations, not just about yourself, but about the root of sex, which is creative expression itself. It's actually being tapped into and then turned onto life itself.
And that's what a lot of people, when they do come to my events, they feel that way. They feel like I'm creatively expressing myself sexually in some form, whether it's dressing up, because I always have theme nights, or just, you know, what they're into. And being a voyeur or something, you know? Because me, I'm the voyeur that's like, excuse me, can you do this position, please?
Is a voyeur like a level 3? Level 4?
No. You know what? Actually, most people who come to me and they're nervous, they're like, but I'm just a voyeur. And I'm like, that's okay. That's more than what most people are. So a voyeur is actually a level 1 to many people.
Wow. You know, being from California, I know a lot of couples that have tried swinging. I've not ever done that, and I am a serial monogamist. I have a boyfriend, a wonderful boyfriend. But I do find that most people I see that go to polyamory, go to swinging, go to whatever, they go way out there, and then it never seems to really work out. Not gonna lie.
It's because one thing that you need to do before you do this, you really need to talk and communicate with your partner about what's okay, what's not going to be accepted, how far you should go, should you see people outside of it, you know.
And I would imagine as a coach, you probably help to mediate that, right?
Oh yeah, if they need my help, yeah. But is kissing okay? Because if you haven't talked about it and all of a sudden you go to a swinger event and your guy is kissing a girl and you freak out, and then next thing you know there's drama and you're out of it, and that ruins your experience.
Wow. So do you see it working for people where they really truly are dating multiple people or having sexual things and being able to maintain a relationship, or do you think it's avoiding? Sometimes I wonder if it's avoiding
I think it's
intimacy.
50-50. I think it's 50-50 because some people really want to try it, but then they're doing it more for their partner rather than for themselves. They're not really into it. But then I see some relationships that it really works, and they've got it down, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, that's a little bit further, you know.
So where can people find your calendar and work with you?
Oh, naughtylosAngeles.com. So they can just find my calendar. I have a Naughty LA magazine. I also do naughty tours of LA. I take people on historical tours and behind-the-scene porn shoots.
Whoa,
and I host weekly parties. That's level 11. I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
we
we embrace all expressions and know there's free will as long as no one's hurting or anything lying or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you so much.
Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow on Good Morning LaLa.
Hi everyone, my name is Victoria Simone, associate producer here at Focus TV Network, America's first live streaming daily talk show network with my favorite girl.
I'm Jessica Lee, producer and co-host of Good Morning LaLaLand. So Victoria, tell me what happened this week in Focus?
So we had the Ren Wood Show
with the hilarious Ben Glebe.
Yeah, we had Mama Tix
with Harley Ruda, the potential next Congressman of California.
Oh. We had Dr. Nina actually in the house.
It was an incredible show. Meredith O'Connor was here. You've definitely seen her on YouTube. And we also had Cole Woods, the modelpreneur.
We have 2 new exciting shows. Some of them you may know from the Bachelor franchise. We had Josh Murray, Naked Chats. Yes, and
Josh Murray.
We had Demario Jackson in the hot seat.
We're so excited to welcome Lindsay Palis to the Focus family. She's got a new show, Eyes Up Here, and had a very special guest, Drama.
Speaking of Lindsay Palis, she was on Good Morning LaLaLand.
Yes, she was. We had a week full of very special guests. We also had a reality star from Real Housewives of Orange County, Gretchen Rossi.
Another Real Housewives of Orange County, we had Peggy Tanos.
And the jet guy, Hunter Gaylor. He is a man with a plan and a plane.
We had a special episode of Good Morning LaLaLand.
We did. It was co-hosted by Dr. Sandra Lee. You may know her as Dr. Pimple Popper. She brought in a slew of amazing industry guests. I'm so excited for you to take a look.
Have a divine day.
It's going to be a Good Morning LaLa. And of course, we have a lot of fun here at Focus TV. We have a blooper reel hosted by Brittany Zonka.
The change is starting happening. It's nope, bad take. Nope, nope. Oh, sorry, I messed up. I was talking to the guest. It's a little fast. Bet you don't have one of those in your phone. Nope. Andy's like, damn it, I'm doing things over here. Usually I'm a one-hit wonder with my videos, but right now, how many takes are we on, Andy? Woo! Okay. I think it's maybe take 12. Nope, messed up one word at the end. It's gonna drive me insane. Listen, I've never done so many takes in my life on one video. That was a good one. Good? You like that one? Are we gonna do a blooper reel? Andy's like, you're already on all of them.
Thank you so much for tuning into This Week in Focus.
We're hashtag community powered.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. The makeover master himself is in the house. Thank you for being here, Mike Young.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Making over websites and brands, correct?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
That's a big job in today's world. We're all trying to figure out our brands fully, right?
Yeah, I think even myself, I tried to figure it out for a long time, and that's part of my journey, my struggle. Was I ran a mortgage company, and it went under at the housing crisis. It took my self-confidence with it at the time. I created over 50 brands trying to kind of rediscover, reinvent myself.
Wow.
And spent a couple $100,000 on online courses and learning marketing and advertising and all these things. And it was such a process for me that now today I get to help others avoid some of the struggle that I went through.
It's real. 2008 was intense. So glad they made it through that dark hour for all of us. So give us a little. We want to hear a little bit about your personal journey, because I know you have some great stories, and then we also want to hear about like the tips and stuff about branding.
Yeah. You know, for me, I think it took me a long time to get over. I did have the mortgage industry that kind of things didn't go well with my company at the time. I decided you were talking earlier on the show about getting overwhelmed with emails, and I was getting 200 to 500 emails a day, and I had 250 employees and 10 offices, and I just got to the point where I was like, screw this, you know, like I need to do something different. And I was lucky enough to have a very supportive wife. My kids were super young at the time, and so I left and just said, I'm going to do my own thing and figure out kind of my ideal lifestyle, how I want to structure things. I didn't want meetings. I wanted the dream, you know. I wanted all the income without all the headaches.
Wow, don't we all?
But that goes to your, sorry. You have to talk about your tattoos real quick on that.
Sure. This one is, they're written in Thai. This one says commitment, and this one is freedom. And freedom to me meant the ability to work with who I want, when I want, where I want. And today I have that, which is super nice, and I work with some great people. It took me a long time to get there. It was an 8.5-year journey for me of really grinding it out. For sure.
Well, and now you're able to successfully make over businesses and their brands so that they look financially successful. What is the key to that?
You know, I think so many brands, especially my clients, they're such wonderful people. They have like amazing talents, you know. They've worked at their own craft, but sometimes we're too close to our own problem, and we forget that there's still somebody today logging into Facebook for the first time, or there's still somebody today logging in to see your brand for the very first time. And so they form a first impression very, very quickly of who you are, what you represent.
What forms a first impression? I mean, really, truly, is it the colors? Is it the images? Is it the sound?
It's a combination of all of it, but it is mostly design based in the beginning. It's mostly what we see. I was in the airport coming over here, and I wouldn't say unfortunately, it's just the way human beings work. We all form first impressions based on what we see. We judge books by their cover. And so I feel like my mission is to help people overcome that first obstacle, which is to form a positive first impression, so that people begin to get to know what's inside the book, what's inside the brand.
And I love what you do, because I love, first of all, that you highlight that, because that's, of course, incredibly important. Also, I know how incredibly subtle it can be, right? Because sometimes the things that seem like they set a great first, sort of positive first impression, they aren't those things at all. It's something a little bit different, something that's a little bit more subtle or nuanced, right?
Yeah, and I think there's a concept in the brain called cognitive bias, which just says that once you form a first impression, you hold on to that until proven otherwise. That's why murder mysteries work. It's why thrillers work. You know, they give you this impression of who the killer is, and you hold on to that until they twist it on you at the end.
Interesting.
And so it takes a lot of proof to overcome a bad first impression. You see it in, you know, it's funny, the interview before was, you know, around being naughty in LA or whatever. It's like that first impression is so important, how you look, how you present yourself. And if you don't nail that the first time, sometimes it's insurmountable to overcome. People are starved for attention these days. They don't take the time to figure you out. It's your job to present the best you,
which is so true,
and get them to contact you.
He arrives very professionally about 25 minutes early, and I was like half in mascara and curl in my hair, and I was like, this is not the first impression I wanted to make. Let me reintroduce myself when I'm fully together. But it's so important, right?
Yeah, and you know, a lot of our clients, they have. I mean, one of my clients is my mindset guy. Literally changes people's lives. And so I view it as like the second layer down. It's like I'm helping brands present themselves how they want to be presented, but really it's who they can help. So we all have a contact rate where 100 people come to your site. How many people actually take the next step and engage with you and your brand? And that's really what we solve.
But isn't that what's so great about social media is you actually can see those numbers now. You can see the impressions, you can see the click-through, you can see all that. So oftentimes people say, have someone that doesn't know anything about you, go to your website and check it out. Because if they don't know in the first, like above, whatever you call it, fold, what you do and have an action to take, forget about it.
Yeah,
right?
you're gone and you never come back. You just are too busy. We're all too busy. We're distracted. Our society's distracted. So it's like, I can't figure you out. I don't have time to figure you out, and you never come back.
Yeah.
And so
wow.
Yeah.
So if somebody's sitting at home or in the office right now watching, what quick tips would you have for them to think through this so that they can just take the first steps to create a good first impression?
Yeah, I would say you should go back to your website, your social media and everything, and really sit down and say, if I'm viewing myself for the very first time today, what do I see? Am I confusing my audience? A lot of entrepreneurs and professionals are actually so successful, they're hurting their contact rate on their first impression because they have this project and this book and that project and that book. And so you come and it's overwhelming to a new prospect. And you really have to just simplify it down to, here's what I do, and here's how you can start.
That's my problem, too successful.
Too successful.
I was right now.
Too successful.
He tells us like, the other day, he's like, oh, so I finished writing my 4 books, and I thought he was reading 4 books, and I was like, hang on a minute, did you say writing 4 books? Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I think going back to like my mindset guy, he's helped people quit smoking in less than an hour. He's cured my wife of anxiety, that she had anxiety for over 30 years, cured her in less than 4 sessions. But his visual brand wasn't, we're working on it right now. It just didn't look the part. So he's not able to impact and help the number of people he could be if he just looked the part of who he actually is.
So
it's not faking it or anything. It's just bringing out who that person already is, and just helping them look the part so that they can pass that first impression test.
What have you seen translate into sales the most? Is it having a landing page? Is it engaging out in real life? Is it what do you see with your clients?
Yeah, there's a book called Contagious that talks about this a little bit, and actually the percentages say that it's not social media. So many people think social media is going to be this huge percentage of introductions and warm referrals and stuff, and it's actually only about 7%. Wow. It really is person-to-person contact. Hey, Erin, there's somebody that you should meet. Yes. And that, but a lot of times it does stem from that. So I would say there's no perfect answer. There's no perfect landing page. There's no perfect funnel that you're going to put people through to get the conversions you want. But it is about getting people to understand quickly what you do, not confusing them, putting your best foot forward, so to speak, and getting them to take that first step. And then from there, I think we've all done it. You've opened a book and you've been like, this book sucks. Very quickly, if the rest of what you have going on as a company or a brand isn't on point, you're going to struggle just like you would in any other thing. Yeah. So you still have to have the goods.
We call it social proof, social media is just so that people have social proof. It's like they like you, they like everything, then they go check you out. You either make it or break it with the social proof. Yeah, I don't think many sales are made online per se, and that's not my experience, way more than 7%, but I think overall for sure human relationships for sure the number one thing.
Trust and verify.
And there are people that make their entire living on just building a funnel and a landing page and whatever, and they're wildly successful, but I think for the average entrepreneur, the average small business owner, it is trying to put all those moving parts together. And when you take action for a couple of years, sometimes your visual brand becomes a mess.
Right.
And it's just, you've taken so much action that it becomes confusing to your audience.
That is exactly my problem. I'm taking too much action.
Yeah, too much action.
Mike, you've got the job.
So how can people find you? How do they work with you? What does that look like?
My website, themakeovermaster.com. I always kind of laugh about that just because it's like you got to have some guts to say you're the makeover master. But online, Facebook, I'm very active on Facebook at the Makeover Master.
Cool.
And so Mike Young Makeovers is my other handle.
I like as you give examples and you show the before and after of the websites. You can just learn a lot even by going to your website. So
Yep.
go to his website. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for anybody, you asked how to get started. It's like just remember that somebody's running into you for the first time, and try and view yourself as that person. And sometimes you need that outside perspective. You need some help.
Love it.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing that
thank you guys.
with
Thank you
us.
so much.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more Good Morning La La Land.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. It's Wealth Wednesday, and we've been talking makeovers, Naughty Girl of LA. Such a fantastic show. We're so grateful that you guys joined us this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. I don't know if we have a question for the day, do we? But one of the questions that I have is, what is one of the greatest things you've discovered about true wealth? Like, what does true wealth really mean to you, and what have you discovered about, improving or increasing the true wealth in your life?
You want to go ahead?
You go first.
For me,
I'll
I think.
say ditto.
No, I think when I was younger, it was financial for me. I thought I kind of went through that normal pattern of you go to high school, you go to college, you run a company and everything else, and I discovered over time that wasn't fulfilling me. For me, it's about time freedom a lot, and so I get to make the money I make and spend time with my family, spend time with my kids. And so really that really fulfills me. And it's my definition of success, is being able to control your time.
I just love that definition. I always feel like, well, time is the one asset that we have that we can never get more of. You can't save, you can't earn compound interest off of, and benefit from later. So you've got to do the best you can with the time that you have available to you now.
Yep.
Love that.
So
what about you, Thea?
So I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
I've always been driven by money.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I always wanted the finer things in life. But as you get older, it's more about the fulfillment of what I'm doing, because like I said, I really enjoy helping people. And when I hear stories from my members about how I've changed their life, that really helps me, feel better about myself and with what I'm doing. Not just about being naughty.
We knew that.
We enjoy all the fun.
I'm more than just naughty.
Well, we are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show. You can catch all of your favorite interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
That's right. We're waking up the world together. Have a wonderful Wealth Wednesday. May you claim your birthright of prosperity. Have a great day.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.